Good evening and welcome to a special report from the Colorado Inside Out panel, featured right here at the KBDI studios every Friday night at 8 p.m. My name is Gene O'Fallon, manager of KFEL-AM, that's 915 your dial, the new cry of the Old West. After a 3-month-long investigation, Denver District Attorney John A. Carroll and the grand jury looking into corruption in the Civil Service Commission described administration of the system as constituting carelessness, laxity, and negligence. In their report to Judge Floyd F. Miles, the grand jury recommended 10 people be indicted for crimes that there be a major overhaul in the structure of the civil service, particularly around exams taken by fire and police department personnel who seek promotion. Let's start and talk to our panel. First up, Emily Griffith. You are a retired school teacher and administrator. Thank you for joining us. What do you think of the recent allegations made by the grand jury?
I think it's appalling. It is so horrifying that civil servants in this city could so abuse the taxpayers and take advantage of a good job in a very tough time. Think how many people have been looking for work for a year, 5 years, a decade during these very, very difficult times. You know, at the Opportunity School, we have trained people how to get out there and work hard and get jobs, and to see people abuse the system like this is appalling. So good for the grand jurors, good for the judge, and I hope they throw the book at them.
Next up on our panel is State Attorney General Byron G. Rogers. Attorney General Rogers, thank you for joining us. What's your viewpoint on the recent allegations coming from the grand jury?
Well, certainly some of these are very serious, including 3 witnesses who said that a particular individual threatened to take them for a ride if they testified. But as the Attorney General, I might be involved in this case in the future, so I wouldn't want to comment in particular. Some of the reforms that have been coming out of this are sensible, saying that the civil service offices should have locks on the file cabinets and doors. It's hard to imagine why that wasn't done a long time ago, and including for just the privacy of our civil service employees. But I think some things will make the civil service, our government, less efficient. The police are now required to fill out time logs, even for 5 minutes of the day when they stop to have a cup of coffee. That's just cracking down too hard on the large majority of our police officers who are good, hard-working men who protect us.
Next up on our panel is Robert Chase, the city editor of the Rocky Mountain News. Mr. Chase, what do you and your reporters think about what's going on right here under our noses here in Denver?
Well, interesting that the Attorney General should mention the activity logs that the police officers are going to have to fill out. They estimate that they're going to have to use half of their shift to fill out what they've been doing for the other half of their shift. But I'll tell you what, from the standpoint of a journalist and a reporter, we love that, because we know some people are going to leak us those activity reports, and we can't wait for all the great stories that are going to come out of it. But I'll tell you what, the civil service reform, as Ms. Griffith said, is something needed in this town. Denver has long been known since its founding as a city that plays fast and loose, and it's about time that these things get tightened down. Civil service needs to keep their records for more than 6 months.
And rounding out our panel is Miss Sinclair Carney, a reporter with the Denver Star. Miss Carney, please, your thoughts.
You know, this really isn't a surprise. Since the days of Soapy Smith, the Denver police and fire, they've just been a cesspool of criminality and cronyism. So this is just the latest chapter in this tawdry tale. And I'm actually not hopeful. I looked at the recommendations, but I'm actually not hopeful. For some reason, the police department and the fire department, particularly the police department, just wield such a outsized power in this city. I am not surprised at this corruption, and I am looking forward, Mr. Chase, to reading your exposés of further criminality in the police and fire departments. I'm sure it's there.
Don't forget all the boners they pulled.
I'm sure.
Well, that is all the time we have for our special segment here on Colorado Inside Out. And if this just whet your appetite for some more great analysis, be sure to tune in every Friday at 8 p.m. right here at the KBDI studios to this illustrious Colorado Inside Out panel, where next week we'll be talking all about what happened in the events of the week of October 5th in 1940. For everyone here at the mighty KBDI studios, I am Gene O'Fallon. Thank you very much for joining us.